Hello. So my name is Stephen Gray. I'm recording this video for you because you might have read a cover letter that I've sent you or been looking at my resume, and I find that they're not always the best vehicle to tell a story about a person, to introduce someone's experience and motivation. So I wanted to add a little bit of color to those documents, but also given that often we are connecting using these kind of technologies when we're not in person, it makes sense uh, to introduce oneself, how we might end up communicating some of the time at least. So I just wanted to maybe begin by saying a little bit about the arc of my career. It's happened over different phases and different parts of the world, and the resume might look quite dense with a lot of different assignments. So trying to maybe elevate or summarize some of that. So I started my career as a scientist for the New Zealand government and did that for a few years before making a career change in 2007 into international affairs due to a long standing love affair with the world, I would say. So I worked for the New Zealand mission for the United Nations in New York, and then did my master's over there at Columbia University and retrained with the intention of working for the United Nations, which I did in a few different countries for a period of time before deciding that I wanted to move into other parts of the international system, and spend the next 6 years in Myanmar. And during that country's democratization and opening process, worked on the peace process for various governments, NGOs, non-state armed groups, civil society organizations, as an advisor, and in some roles as program managers for NGOs, doing a lot of research work, setting up research programs, and throughout that experience developed a good understanding thematically of not just peace building, but humanitarian and development assistance in conflict zones. And also set up an NGO at that time, Adaptive Peace Building, which I still direct, which has long-term peacebuilding programs in Myanmar, and also provides consultancy services, particular research and training and support for strategic planning or process design. Provides those services to a range of other NGOs, non-profits, governments, philanthropies. Moved to Colombia in 2017 and spent 2 years living there as director of Adaptive Peace Building at that time. That had become my full-time role. And we worked with the Colombian government, worked subnationally with various civil society organizations, received funding from philanthropic donors for peacebuilding programs, all of this work in support of implementing the country's comprehensive peace agreement. And those programs are ongoing, or some of them are. And then in 2020, moved to the UK to start a PhD at the University of Sussex Institute of Development Studies, which I'm close to finishing, which looks at peace processes and the dialogic aspects of peace processes as a means of including more of a society's subaltern perspectives in deciding how to manage a change process from violence to peace. And I compare that with social movements as a relatively informal and less organized or less formally organized form of social and political change. So I'm now the director of Adapt Peace Building, and I've my motivation really for reaching out and exploring other work opportunities, having finished my PhD and wanting to now apply some of the methodological skills that I have learned, as well as feeling like the work in establishing long-term peacebuilding programs in Myanmar and Colombia has reached a point where those programs should be further localized and can continue without my leadership. It's also an opportunity for me to work with an international team again as a leader, not the leader, and to have peers that challenge me and inspire me, and that I can challenge and inspire and work with, and together achieve more impact. I'm motivated by the desire to move further upstream, if you will, out of direct implementation and more towards supporting other organizations and large organizations with larger programs that have a lot of reach, as a way of trying to feel like I can maximize the impact that I bring at this stage in my career. So in terms of transferable skills, I think I have a well-rounded professional skill set as it relates to the delivery of international aid, particularly in conflict zones, whether that's philanthropic sources or bilateral sources. I have a good understanding of the global context as it relates to issues around peace and security, localization debates, development assistance in conflict settings, decolonization, and a range of themes or specific topics within those broader categories. I'm well versed with donor relations and fundraising and grant management and the financial side of those things, as well as quite well developed consultancy skill set. I've led and set up and implemented more than 30 consultancy projects for a range of different organization types in the last 15 years or so. And that allows me to do strategic planning quite well, as well as the back-end monitoring and evaluation side of things. I've been involved in complexity-aware approaches to monitoring and evaluation quite a lot. Adapt Peacebuilding, the NGO that we founded, specializes in adaptive management, so complexity and systems approaches to programming and monitoring evaluation has been a long-term speciality. And then qualitative research methods more broadly, particularly participatory methodologies and applied research methods in conflict zone related to conflict analysis, conflict sensitivity, etc. In addition to that, I think I bring some leadership ability around non-profit management, organizational development, management of staff, and financial and administrative oversight, and ability to provide training and education of various kinds, whether that's adult education or in a kind of more academic or professional setting. Those are some of the key skills that I think I have. There might be more, but this is supposed to be just a short introduction and really an invitation. If there seems like there might be any kind of fit with what you might be looking for, I'd welcome the opportunity to talk with you further. Thank you for your time.